All right, we are going to review our mid-chapter 8, which deals a lot with right triangle trig and unit circles. So you can use this if you're not in my class. If you're not in my class, don't forget hit like, subscribe, hit the bell, because that may help me not have to teach one day. All right, so remember that we have to, when we're looking at theta, when we're looking at all this, this is our perspective. We're looking from this corner. So this would be my opposite, this would be my adjacent, and this would be my hypotenuse. Okay. Labeling that stuff is just something I do. Okay. It doesn't cost me any extra stuff. It doesn't, no blood, no time. I didn't have to like sell my firstborn or cut off a toe. It just helps. Okay. So sine is the opposite over the hypotenuse. So 26 over 10. And remember, it says to reduce each one. So remember, that is the N over D button. 10 over 26. And that is 5 over 13. Now, cosecant, that's the flipped version of this. So this would be 13 over 5. Okay. Our cosine is our adjacent over our hypotenuse. So 24 over 26. Again, with the N over D button. This is 12 over 13, which would be 13 over 12. Tangent is opposite over adjacent. Oops. 5 and 12. All right. Now, with your orange sheet, I would make sure that somebody's waving at me at the window like I'm popular or something. I would make sure that I would have anything I needed to know. It's looking from this, it's the opposite side, any extra notes. Remember, it's a note to your future self. Okay? Dear future self. Okay? Yes. Yeah, you could just put the simplified number on there. The only reason I'm not doing just the simplified number is if I didn't, people would wonder where those numbers, this is like a teaching step. Like if I was a student, I would get confused. I was like, there's no 5 and 13 right there. So um just something like that. But yeah, you could, because I'll on the key, I'm just going to have the simplified version. Okay. Yeah. I actually took a chance of poking at some of y'all that love to use the answer spaces to do your work. I don't know who in this class would be doing that. All right. Is everybody good with part 1? Anybody have any questions? Okay. All right. I can tell you with extreme confidence that the formatting for 7 and 8 is not going to change on the practice tests Monday or the test Tuesday. Okay? It's going to look like this. And this is going to look Dang it. These should be different. This should be 17. This should be 17. This should be 9. What I was reading it off of had it a different way. That's my bad on that one. All right. So, again, literally plugging it in the calculator. So I'm going to clear everything. Second square root, okay, 17 squared, whoop, plus 144 squared. Enter. Did y'all get 145? Good. That's what I got. That means we're both right. Or we're both wrong and nobody else knows. Okay. Minus the typo on number 8. Okay. You can get an answer like that. Okay. You don't have to, you can leave it like that. You don't have to do decimals. Just write it like that. So 4 root 13. Okay. So I messed it up when I typed it out. That should be C is 17. All right, so I did the square root of 17. Yeah. I just, okay. If you did, yeah, oh, well, that still shouldn't matter. We have a question about how something is entered in. Okay, this is why you got that. There's not a plus in between those. It squared them and multiplied it. No, 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 no. That's a good teachable moment. All right. So now, shrink, shrink, shrink for this one. All right. So I pulled this in for part 2. I pulled something else in for part 4 to help just a little bit. Now remember, find the positives. We're adding 360. Find the negative. We're subtracting 360. Okay, so 116 plus 360. Bless you. 476. 116 minus. You had a sneeze that burned? I'm not going to repeat what the student said, but it was really funny. It was my kind of humor. It's all right. This is the new thing I want to show you with the calculators. Okay, I did not know this. I've been telling y'all to not put in the pi's. Actually tried it out, and the reason why, I've never had a calculator that I could put the pi in and actually give me something like 2 pi over 7. But since it's in this mode, you can actually do that. Okay, you don't have to, but you can. All right, so 2 and then pi n over d. 7, scroll over, plus, yes, 2 pi n over d, or you could hit n over d first. So you have this, right? Okay. Plus 2 pi. Yeah, it will actually give you the answer in terms of pi. I did not know that. Now, do you have to do that way? No. Ah, hang on. My big fat finger hit something and now it's all wonky. Okay. You can do it either way. Okay. If you look, okay. If you look at the top, that's using the pi button. If you look on the bottom, that's not using the pi button. It's the same answer. Just if we use the bottom, you just got to write pi in on the final part. And see, I even put the plus 2 pi minus 2 pi or plus 2 minus 2, however you need to do it. It's your problem. You have a structured settlement and you need cash now. Mm-hmm. And I think that is because we have this in this math print mode. If we had it in classic, we'd be getting decimals left and right. Okay. But because we have it in math print, we could actually put the pi's in there. Wow. Ain't that interesting? Did we both wow at the same time? Wow. Missed what step? What part? What? Okay. All right. So I hit N over D first. Okay. I hit the 2 button. You know where the 2 button is, right? All right. Do you not know where the pi button is? The pi button is right above the raise the roof button. Then you scroll down 7. You go over, hit plus, 2 pi. Okay. Because the reason this one, I just picked 2 random numbers. I picked 2 and 7. I could have done 3 and 7 or 3 and 8. It seems kind of weird because it's 2 pi over 7 plus 2 pi. You have to remember the first thing is actually a fraction. Yes. Where what I'm thinking about doing is because basically after our test Tuesday, I've got to think about, you know, we've got a little bit of time to do stuff and then we got to start reviewing for the final. So we may have a handful of lessons and then get our review stuff and start reviewing for the final. And then all that, basically everything we've had since spring break on be on the final. I don't think so. I may put a handful of things. I haven't. I'm going back and forth with it. I'm trying to wrap my. Let me get through tomorrow. Tomorrow's a pretty busy day for me in my regular life, and let me get through that. because after I get through that, I can be on the tractor and think, and I'll be good. I need some tractor time. All right, remember, degrees to radians, radians to degrees. Okay, there's the steps. So let's try this with the using the pi thing. All right, I'm going to change. So I'm just going to say 116 times, I'm going to hit the n over d, pi, scroll down, 180. All right. Wow. Okay. So it actually gave me the thing right there. Now, if you didn't want to do that, okay, if you didn't want to do that, the original way we talked about it was just put 116 over 180 like this, right? And reduce that and then put the pi on the top at the end. Two different ways, both the right answer. You pick your choice. I, no, no, no. She's talking about problem, not method. Yeah, I haven't done 12 yet. All right. So doing this one, 2 pi over 7 times 180 over pi. All right. That's one way. Okay, we get 51.7. All right, so let's look at that. That's an option. Okay, the other way we did it was say 2 over 7 times 180. Okay, believe it or not, these are the same answer. And I'll show you how. Just give me a second so I can actually write this down. All right. Does anybody know how to change a fraction to decimal on the calculator on these? All right. You see the enter button down here, like the enter equals button? You see just above it, these double arrows? Watch this. If I hit the double arrows, it will change that fraction to a decimal. And that's actually what we got at the very beginning. So either way is right. So I will accept decimal or a fraction. Say again? Yeah. No, because this is actually degrees. So I'm missing something. Thank you, Miss Rand. I'm forgetting my little degree symbol. My halo, halo, halo. Yep, just for fun, because I hounded y'all. I'll try to make sure it's a better thing. Yeah, here's the deal. I would write down number 11 needs to have a pi symbol. Number 12 needs to have a degree. Do, 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 do. Yep. Okay. Now, ooh, gotta shrink myself. If only this was as easy in real life. All right. So what I grabbed in here was actually our notes from our notes from Monday, where it says, what are we given and what can we use? Okay. So if this is our angle, okay, this is the opposite, this is the adjacent, this is the hypotenuse. Okay. We're given the hypotenuse. We're asked to find the adjacent. Okay. I know y'all don't have that. Are y'all wanting that? Okay. I will make that adjustment. I will make that adjustment. All right. So, what ratio do we use? We're asked to find adjacent. We're given the hypotenuse. Which one does adjacent and hypotenuse? Cosine. Y'all don't make me rethink my life choices. Okay. All right. So we have this equation. We can solve it by multiplying by 12. So we'd have 12 cosine of 54. And guess what? We would actually just type it into the calculator just like that. So make sure clear everything out. Clear, 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 clear. 12 cosine 54. Enter. 70. No. It doesn't matter if you close the parentheses. And then I didn't say which way to round, so it doesn't say to round the nearest tenth or anything, does it? Round the nearest tenth. All right, so we get 7.05. Since this is 5 or higher, 7.1 is our x. So we should actually do this 7.1 or just 7.1. There we go. All right. Are we okay with number 13? I see some people still writing down. Some people taking those invisible notes. All right. Number 14. I know y'all don't have this, but this is actually what you should be saying in your head when you're talking to yourself. All right. So here's my angle. Okay. The opposite side is x. The adjacent side is 20. Which ratio can we use? Which ratio deals with opposite and adjacent? Tangent. Yeah, that's okay. You're in the middle of a yawn. So tangent of 72 degrees is our opposite over our adjacent. Multiply by 20. Multiply by 20. All right, so clear, clear, clear. 20 tangent 72. All right, this gets 61.55 because this is a 5. Okay, this means our final answer in the answer box is 61.6. So to actually get this little statement on here for each of these problems, I may have to I'll have to redo something. I'll work on it. All right, we go 14. Anybody need more time? All right, good job. All right. So here's my angle. All right. What am I given? The opposite side is x. My hypotenuse is 20. Which ratio do we use when it's opposite and hypotenuse? Sine. Some of y'all may have seen a pattern to the problems that I am picking for this. Okay, this gives us 12.85 nearest tenth. So this gives us for a final answer so not that bad. That's funny. We want the same yeah. Y'all wanted that sentence. All right, are we good with number 15? Are we ready to move on to the unit circle thing? All right, before I start answering them, let me do my little dots right quick. This is all right, so remember, I'm doing these dots because they're color coordinated to where they like they're in the same position, just different parts of the circle. Okay, and they're like this because that means they are basically the same coordinates, same numbers, but the values change if it's positive or negative. Okay, like 16. We know that this one is something over 4. All the green ones are something over 4. So they're going to be some type of root 2 over 2. This one happens to both be positive because it's in the first quadrant. Okay, 17. This one's pi, so this is at -1 and 0. 18. This is something over 3 or 6. I know it's going to be negative root 3 over 2. Whoa. There we go. Negative 1/2. All right. Not 19. Okay. It's one of the pinks. And all the pinks have some type of X. This one's positive. So positive 1/2. And then a negative root 3 over 2. Ah. And then this one is 1 and 0. All right. So, because people in fourth block and said the same thing as y'all, I can't remember all this. Well, if you think about it, there's ways to prepare. Yeah, that's part. Honestly, that's a side part of the orange sheet. Is if you know, you see where a possible problem may be, how can you prepare for said possible problem? Okay, guess what? That's going to happen outside this building. Yeah, when you're in the workplace, everything's open notes, open neighbor, everything. Yeah. So that's why a lot of teachers don't like me when I do that, but I don't care. All right, good stuff, good things. Roll Tide.